This is the Apple Thunderbolt Display, a 27-inch 1440p monitor released in 2011 with a price tag of $999. That was 14 years ago, and you can now find these for around $50 to $200 on eBay. It was the successor to Apple's iconic cinema display, and in this video I'll talk about its features, the pros and cons, and whether I think it's worth buying in 2025. The 27-inch screen is an IPS panel with a 60Hz refresh rate. The aspect ratio is 16:9 and it has a resolution of 2560 by 1440p. 1440p is of course far from the 4K and 5K screens on the Studio Display and Pro Display XDR, but to my eye it still looks really good. 1440p for a 27-inch monitor is in my opinion quite passable. Oh, and the newer displays costs thousands more. I primarily work with text editing, and unless I look really close, I think the text appears quite crisp. I think the colors look good too, but I'm not an expert. Apple rates the brightness as up to 375 nits, which is in the lower end compared to today's standards. But until recently, I've primarily used mine in this well-lit living room with large windows, and I haven't had any problems except for a few instances where direct sunlight shines on the screen. This brings us to the next point, which is really a double-edged sword, the glossy display. While it looks quite stunning, in very bright conditions it's not far from being a real mirror. Still, it's primarily when the on-screen content is darker or black that you might be surprised by your own reflection. It has great viewing angles, although I'm not sure why anyone would look at the monitor from the side. Connectivity. While the design is timeless, the same cannot be said for connectivity. This is the main drawback of the Thunderbolt display. It connects via Thunderbolt 2. This means that the display will connect seamlessly with older MacBooks and iMacs, but not the newer ones which use Thunderbolt 3 or USB-C. It is possible, but not without buying Apple's proprietary adapter for $50, a ridiculous price for a dongle. Still, the additional $50 might be worth it to you, depending on what you pay for the display. Attached to the same Octopus cable is an 85-watt MagSafe 1 charger. Apple marketed the display as the ultimate docking station, which might have been true for its time, but not by today's standards. Still, it has a decent selection of ports on the back. There we find 3 powered USB 2 ports, Firewire 800, Gigabit Ethernet, and a Thunderbolt 2 port, which you can use to connect another Thunderbolt display for a multi-monitor setup. The display has built-in stereo speakers, located at the bottom edge of the monitor, hidden behind the aluminium frame. They're surprisingly good. They deliver clear, full-range sound that's fine for casual listening, video calls, or watching YouTube. However, they lack deep bass and can't match the power or richness of a dedicated speaker system. While convenient and seamlessly integrated with macOS for music production, gaming, or a more immersive audio experience, you'll likely want external speakers or headphones. There's not much to say about the built-in microphone. It's fine for video calls and dictation, or if you use Siri. Likewise, the 720p webcam is fine for video calls, but nothing special. It's really quite dated. Now for the main appeal of this display, the design. You just can't deny that this display looks stunning, especially compared to monitors in the same price range. The Thunderbolt display really highlights Apple's focus on clean, minimalist design. It has a solid aluminium body with smooth edges, a sleek glass front, and a solid stand that gives a premium, high-end feel. The black bezels are quite big though, but they fit with the overall design, so I don't mind them much. The overall construction is very sturdy. You get the sense that this monitor is built to last. Everything feels tight and well engineered, from the hinge on the stand to the weight distribution across the base. That said, it's also noticeably heavy and takes up a lot of desk space, which can make it tricky to move around or reposition. You can tilt the screen, but there's no height adjustment, so you're a bit limited in how you can set it up. This is a clear downside, as I'm 6'3" and I find the height to be on the lower side. Despite that, the aesthetic is classic Apple, clean, modern and professional, which still looks impressive even more than a decade later. It's a monitor that feels premium in every touch and glance, but compared to today's thinner, lighter displays with more adjustable stands, it does feel a little bulky and less versatile. Okay, let's summarize the pros and cons. Cons. 1. Thunderbolt 2. The fact you need a $50 dongle to connect to a modern Mac is clearly a downside. 2. The glare. It's important to consider your workspace surroundings. Is it bright and sunlit or dark and shadowy? The display works best in the latter condition. 3. Height adjustment, or the lack thereof. Now you can find a VESA mount kit, but it's quite expensive, and I think the stand is an essential part of the design. Now to the pros. 1. Price. If you're patient and a good deal hunter, you can get one of these very cheap. I got mine for $60. 2. All-in-one. For the price, you get good speakers, a webcam and a mic, as well as a decent port selection. 3. Design. For the price, you just can't beat Apple's design and build quality. So, is the Thunderbolt display worth it in 2025? I think so, although there are a few caveats. Okay, that's all I have for now. Still, I'm curious, do you think this 14-year-old monitor is worth it today? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out my other ones. I have one restoring a 20-year-old keyboard and a few on the 2011 iMac.